Soulful shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some soulful shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Feel like I be 10 feet, man. Big up everybody in the damn building, man. Hope you guys are blessed. Apologies, I would have done this a lot sooner, but yeah, I've just been a little bit ill. You can probably tell by my voice. But of course, we're here for the Southampton versus Liverpool preview. The game kicks off today, 2 p.m. As I said, let me drop this nice and early for you guys to be able to just, give me your thoughts and stuff like that. Maybe some things might have potentially have changed, in the last 24, 48 hours since the Liverpool press conference. I haven't seen anything. And to be honest, I don't really care, to be fair. But yeah, obviously, back after the international break, finally. Our last international break, which is absolutely freaking fantastic. Meaning we can finally, Liverpool, as I always say, man, we're a team of rhythm. You know what I mean? We need to get into that rhythm. We need to get into that kind of vibe. Otherwise, I just feel like once we lose a little bit of rhythm, it just kind of knocks us off just a little bit. But yeah, obviously, first versus bottom at the time of this video anyway. Obviously, look, fucking hell, they got 4 points. We got 28. That is 24 points better off. But as I listened to Arne Slot's press conference, and as he said, Southampton don't really play like a team that's bottom. But to be fair, this season I've been seeing that quite a lot with the teams down at the bottom anyway. Whether it be at Southampton or Wolves or an Ipswich or whoever, they're not playing bad. It's mad. They're not playing rubbish or anything like that. What you usually kind of end up seeing, or what we do mostly see in previous years gone by anyway, and I'm talking maybe like 5 years ago, potentially even longer than that, is that when these teams are down here, like say if you got a record like this, you've won one game in 5, lost the other 4 kind of thing, and you're sitting bottom of the Premier League on 4 points, usually like a Derby County or something, you see them, you're like, bro, they're playing whack. Or Sheffield United. I feel like Sheffield United played trash, like they played trash football. They are a trash team. Kind of thing. Apologies to Sheffield United fans out there. I didn't mean to sound so harsh. But it's always that. It's always that kind of vibe. But these teams ain't playing dead, though. That's the thing. They're not actually playing that bad. It is, I think it just comes down to you just don't have the quality, unfortunately, kind of thing. And, when you conceded as many goals as we've scored, that's a bit mad. Do you know what I mean? That is a little bit mad. And they've only scored 7 goals this season. As I say, conceded 21. Yeah, they concede most of their goals either between the 30th minute and the 45th minute, and 60 to 75 as well. So middle part kind of each game, or no, not middle part, like towards the last 15 minutes, give or take, of the first half, and then in the middle of that second half, that's where they concede most of their goals. So, and it's funny because if you look at it in the second half of games, that's kind of when we score, and then first half, yeah, it's just one less between that 30th and 50th mode. So look, it's kind of peak, if I'm being honest, for Southampton, if I'm looking at it. But listen, man, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Obviously, to a bit of news, I see Ali is back in training. I know everyone's got this thing, and he's not going to play, by the way, this weekend, so we don't have to worry about who plays. But I see everyone's got this thing about Keller and Ali. Should Alisson just be coming straight back into the team? And obviously, we'll see. Once Ali's actually fit and available, we will see what Arne Slot does moving forward. But you know my take on this already, and I'll say the same thing again once he's available and fit, is that Alisson's fit, you put him back in goal. Keller, you've been great. You've done, really, really well during this period of time, but you are just that. Unfortunately, you're not better than Alisson. Even if you want to take certain attributes, you're not better than Alisson, unfortunately. And Slot has basically said that anyway, in terms of Alisson being his number one. And, once he's fit and available, he comes straight back in. And that, you can say it's unfair, so to speak. You can say that, but why wouldn't you put your best players out? Like, that's always my kind of thing. Like, why wouldn't you have your best players out? Because if that's the case, Alisson cannot be number one. He can't be seen as the best goalkeeper in the world. The two don't make sense to me. You can't say that someone is number one in the world and then a second choice goalkeeper who isn't in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world anyway, then comes along, does well, by the way, does really well. And then now you're saying, yeah, but he should stay in goal. How does that make sense? That doesn't make sense, people. Come on, man. We need to stop being silly now. We need to stop being silly. The two cannot coexist. You can't call someone number one and then someone else who comes in does a decent job. Then you say, no, he has to stay in goal because no, he doesn't. Number one comes straight back in goal, man. Like Keller, you can sit on the bench, rude boy. It's that simple. Like, it sounds harsh, I know, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, this should be a good thing. Liverpool fans should be rejoicing at this. We should be so happy to know that, yeah, we've got a number two who can do their job. Yeah, I'm saying we've got a number two who's calm. And as people say, yeah, he can play for other teams, whatever. It doesn't really matter. At this point in time, Alisson's better than this guy. He's a level above this guy. So, you know what I mean? Alisson, come straight back and go. Keller, you can touch bench, man. Yeah, I mean, we've got FA Cup and Carabao Cup anyway, so he'll get his games. And I'm sure Alisson will get injured again. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. I believe he's not going to be fit for this game. I don't know if he's even going to be fit for the Real Madrid game, which is so coincidental. But yeah, I think in terms of the injury he picked up just before the international break, obviously left him out of the England squad as well. Still hasn't really recovered from that. So yeah, I think he's another player who I'm like, let's just wait and see. But obviously, you know, you've got Conor Bradley, Joe Gomez, you can obviously slot in there. So yeah, I don't think it should be too much of an issue. But listen, let's wait and see. Chiesa. Yeah, it's good that you got the hood on, my bro, because yeah, you don't know what to see right now. Yeah, I see him in training and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't even know what to say, to be honest, in regards to someone like Chiesa. I actually don't know. Like, are you alive? Like you know what I mean? We're lucky we get the training videos and stuff where you see him and that, but yeah, all these weird stories that come out, and yeah, I honestly, I don't know about all of that, man. Like, Chiesa is right now, we're heading into December. You know, what's even the date? Look at that. Yeah, by the time he's probably going to be available, we're going to be in December. I'm sorry, but you cannot keep telling man, yeah, it's because he didn't have a preseason. So what the hell does that mean? Preseason was all the way in July, like June, July. Like let's just use those 2 months, June and July. Let's then even give man a blight and say, you know what, he needs like a month or 2 to get himself back up to like some level of fitness and that and whatnot. Bro, like we're coming up to December now. We're coming up to the end of the year, and we're not seeing this guy. It's mad. So listen, I'm not saying we're not going to see him because I think we will see him before the end of the season. I would like to say that, but it is kind of, for me, it is kind of a little bit worrying that we're not seeing, especially during this kind of period. You've got no Jota as well. You know, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? We need to rotate at times. You're not available. Yeah, for me, it's just a little bit worrying. And I know people are going to spin it however they want to spin it, and that's fine. You can give yourself the copium that you need. That's cool. But for me, I'm like, yeah, I thought this before you signed. You're proving me right, which is not a good thing. Don't prove me right, which is you're just a waste of a signing. I didn't want to sign you in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Because of your injury record, because of you not being able to get up to speed quick enough, all that kind of stuff. Like, we could have signed someone else and it would have been calmer. Do you know what I mean? Like someone we could be using right now at this moment in time. But of course, he's got a long-ish kind of, I think, 3-year contracts and stuff like that. So let's just wait and see. I'm not trying to rubbish him or nothing because he is actually a good player. But at this moment in time, I don't know if he's a good player or not. I really don't know. Do you know what I mean? At this moment, all I know is that he can run fast. Jota, he's another one. I see people talking about him. You know, they would sell him and stuff like that in the summer. Jota, I've tried to back you as long as possible. You're like, I did say before, to be fair, like, was it last season? If it weren't last season, it might have been the season before. I can't really remember. But I remember having this conversation, you know, about Diogo Jota and, you know, saying like, yo, bro, like, these injuries, my guy. And that was back then. That was like a year or 2 ago. And we're still having the same conversation. Big up John. I was speaking to John, and he was saying, you know, Jota's like the Portuguese Daniel Sturridge. And that's exactly what you are right now, bro. You're someone who we know when you play, like in general, obviously this season's been a bit wishy-washy, but in general, you're a good striker, right? You can finish, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But you don't play enough. And you're always breaking down. It's always some type of injury. Now, I've seen people try to spin it Oh, yeah, but the injury, it doesn't matter what injuries a man is getting. Like that is the most irrelevant part of this whole thing. If you keep getting injured, it is a problem. Doesn't matter if you're getting if you're getting injuries because someone keeps dashing pens at you every single game, brother. Get out the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just annoying that all the time that this guy is always injured, bro. It's annoying now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And if I'm being honest, moving forward, again, the season's long. We've got a long way to go. Let's just see how things pan out. But yeah, you're definitely one of the ones that are on my list of, yeah, you can sell, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want someone like this on my books. Like, I don't want to keep watching this guy play for a bit. Then you think, oh, he's over the worst of it. Then he gets injured again. And then everyone makes an excuse for, oh, but someone fell on him. Bro, like, get out of here, man. Can't keep getting injured like this, bro. But yeah, he ain't available. Harvey Elliott obviously back training. Obviously he's not going to be fit. Well, he's not. Well, I would like to think we do not see him this weekend, because that would be the stupidest thing that we've ever done. In terms of, remember, this ain't like Virgil van Dijk where you're like, yo, I need to bring this guy back today. You know, we need to take care, you know, someone like Harvey Elliott. He's missed such a large amount of football as well. He needs to obviously get himself back into the rhythm of things. And then, yeah, you know, we take it from there. But it's good to see that he's at least back in training and stuff like that. Yeah, hopefully we see him soon. Hopefully, you know, we see him soon. Speaking of Harvey Elliott, obviously we've got Ryan Cherky. We've got Ryan Cherky on the screen. There's been a lot of talk about Cherky. Obviously, with Leon's, you know, financial situation going on. There's been talk of, you know, Liverpool looking at Cherky and potentially putting in a bid for him in January, potentially to get him in then, but if not, then in the summer. I like Cherky. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good young player with potential. And I see a lot of people trying to do this thing of like, oh, but if you like people who don't like players like Cherky, like, how can you say you like football? I'm like, yeah, first of all, shut up. I'm not even trying to hear all of that. Because no one's saying that they don't like Cherky because of the way he plays football. That's never ever been the case. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's for me to defend those people who are somewhat against it, kind of thing. I'm like in the middle, because I'm just more like, I guess it just really depends on how Arne Slot kind of sees it, in terms of where he plays, his positioning, and all that kind of stuff. Like, if he feels that there's a position for him, then yeah, go and sign him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you feel like he could be the guy moving forward, then go and sign him. You know, like, he's a good player, you know, kind of thing. Again, I just wonder, you've got other players there already. Is he that much of an upgrade to what we already have? I don't believe so. I'm not saying that he doesn't necessarily have the potential to be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a bit like I was saying to John again the other day, is like, you're not going out to sign Florian Wirtz or Jamal Musiala or someone who plays like in that kind of 10-ish kind of role. You're not really signing that type of player. Now, and you know what? Let's just say he comes in to replace Mo Salah instead. Let's just say he plays right wing as an example, because Mo Salah's leaving. Again, I feel like you could go out there and sign a better players who are a bit more ready, as opposed to trying to sign someone who is going to need a bit more time to get to a level where we're going to be satisfied with, you know, because he's still young. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put too much pressure on him. Unfortunately, he's not at a level of Florian Wirtz. He's not at a level of Jamal Musiala. He's not at a level of a Lamine Yamal. So at least with those guys, if you got those guys in, let's just say in a hypothetical world, you got those guys in to replace a Mo Salah, just as a wild example. Just go with me for a sec. If you got those guys, at least those guys, yes, they are young. Yes, there are risks to any transfer. Yeah, all of that kind of good stuff. But you're going to be a lot more confident in those guys doing their job than you would be of him. Not to say that he cannot do it. I'm not psychic. I haven't got a clue what's going to happen with any player. But you'd be a little bit more... you'd put your eggs into those baskets anyway, because the reality is those guys have been playing at the top level for such a long time, maintaining consistency at these kind of levels for such a long time, that it makes sense. You know, logically it makes sense. Whereas a Cherky hasn't really been at that level. Unfortunately, just because, you know, Leon, you know, at the end of the day, he's been calm, he's been absolutely fine. But those guys are all internationals. Those guys have been doing really well with their club sides. You know, those guys, trying to think, yeah, Jamal Musiala, Florian Wirtz, Lamine Yamal have all won league titles. Do you know what I mean? So those guys are players who've been playing at a higher level from a younger age for quite a bit of time. He hasn't really done that. So when you then bring in someone like this, who, again, we're not saying he cannot get to that level of those players, or if not further than that, but unfortunately, you're not there yet. So the kind of pressure that you're going to be put under, meaning Liverpool fans are going to want, because if Salah were to leave, for example, we're going to be like, yo, we need someone who could do this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada kind of thing. And again, that might not even be his job, but let's just say, hypothetically, that's just how some people are looking at it. Then where it just becomes too much pressure. And I don't know what that pressure looks like for him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I said it before, he gives me Hatem Ben Arfa vibes. I don't know why. Like, I feel like it's going to go one of a few ways. And that's the vibe that I get with him. Not because, and Ben Arfa, by the way, was an absolute baller, in his younger days, especially at Lyon as well. So that's not me trying to downplay or discredit him, because I think he's better than Ben Arfa. It's just one of those kind of things. And I think that Liverpool moving forward, I just feel like you need to be signing different kind of players. I'm not saying you can't go out and get a Shirky, and again, us getting a Shirky doesn't mean we don't then go and get someone else in another position, in terms of any other position that you wanna sign someone. I'm not too fussed about that if that were to happen, but I kind of know how Liverpool are and how they have been. I'm just a bit unsure with someone like Shirky. Like, it would have to be like a silly cut price deal for me to be like, oh yeah, come. You know what I mean? Like, you can grab him, and if he sits on the bench for time and he isn't doing whatever, then cool. You know what I mean? And the pressure isn't really there. But I feel like we could be using our funds elsewhere, and I just don't think that he's just yet. Not again. I'm not saying he isn't a good player. I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. I think he's a really good player. Go and listen to my scout reports of him. I think he's good. But I just think that we should be aiming for maybe a little bit higher. I would have said different if we didn't have a Harvey Elliott, a Curtis Jones, a Szoboszlai. Like, if we didn't have these players, I wouldn't mind. But people are like, oh, wouldn't you want all of these players? I'm like, so you want 4 players for one position? Sometimes I feel like football fans, we need to start making sense when we say these things. Because in one breath, people telling me, yeah, Coutinho, big up any, Coutinho and them, man. Cool. All right, no worries. Harvey Elliott, man, I'm bigging up Harvey Elliott. Oh, wait until he comes back, kind of things. Szoboszlai, obviously, we'll put him over there because he's not really been showing us whatever. But you still also got Szoboszlai as well. So I'm just like, so 1 minute you guys big up, how about to call him Coutinho? 1 minute you guys big up Curtis Jones. Next minute, man are getting gassed over Harvey Elliott coming back. But now Ryan Shirky's like potentially available. No, we need to get in Shirky. What? Like, is he like, in everybody else's eyes, and I want people to let me know in the comment section, is he that much better than what we already have? Like, so much so that you're like, you have to sign him kind of thing? Because I would love to know then what we think of like the Florian Wirtz and stuff like that of this world. Because if he's that much better, then fairs. I'm good with it. But I just, me, like I like to ask the questions, because people like to do flip-flop too much, man. It's annoying, like hearing it sometimes, like, and it makes me seem like I'm being super negative about it, when it's like, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm listening to what you guys are telling me, which is you keep rating these players, overrating them in some cases, but nonetheless, you keep rating these guys highly. And then in the same breath, it's like, no, but you need to go out and sign this guy. How can you rate this guy so highly, say he's the guy, but then you're saying go out and get this guy? I don't know, like, it just, and we're not talking about a player who's of the levels of like a Martin Odegaard or Florian, like of this kind of level where you're like, yo, we need to get this guy. Like, if we get this guy, it's a madness. And this is where like football fans, I would just lose man's respect, man. It's just, but then again, I know who those type of fans are, man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's the here today, gone tomorrow kind of people. It's the ones who like everything is about aesthetics and this, that, and the third. And I hear it, because that's, you know what I mean? Some of it is kind of gone in football a little bit. And if you like that type of player, again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to see the logical sense behind it. But listen, if we were to get him in, I like him as a player. It'll be interesting to see how he does. But I just know how this fan base is. And I know how we will get on his back if he's not performing to a certain level, very, very quickly. Because at the end of the day, we're not Liverpool 5-6 years ago trying to get top 4. And we're not there anymore. We've completely changed as a football club since then. But then let's even take it back to last 10 years. It's like a brand new football club. So there needs to be some level of like, okay, we think differently as fans, as a club. We that needs to come into play at some point in time. but it doesn't sound like it has. So let's wait and see, man. But like I said, Shirky is one player. Another player is obviously Kirkez. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Maybe a summer thing, but we've got 2 left backs already. Unless one of them is going to leave, I just don't see that happening. And again, the only way I even see this happening is more so if there's a real cut price and we're able, I know obviously Richard Hughes, obviously formerly of Bournemouth as well. Maybe he can use his connects and stuff like that. I like Kirkez. Again, he's another one. I like him. Are they, in my opinion, are they better out there? Yes. Are they obtainable for Liverpool? I don't know. I don't know what is obtainable for Liverpool, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what that looks like for a club like Liverpool, with the way that we kind of do things. So there are certain players that I think about and I'm like, I have to just, just throw that out of my head, because I'm just like, there's no point, because I know we'd never sign these kind of guys. So yeah, Kirkez, he's a good player. I know a lot of people like him. Again, he's another one. If we signed him, just like Cherky, sign him, I'm calm with it. You know what I mean? He's not one of those players where I'm like, bro, why did you sign this guy? Kind of thing. Like, yeah, he's calm. He's calm. Do you know what I mean? I know people got other preferences, but listen, man, it is what it is. Obviously, this is a few of the pundits and stuff like that they picked. I think it's their best player of the best player in the Premier League, I think, this season. I think that's who they've gone for. So you've obviously got Matt Holland, Tim Sherwood, Owen, Leon Osman, Shay Given, Sean Wright-Phillips, Don Hutchinson, Karen Carney. So they've all picked who they think is the best player in the Premier League this season so far. Most of them are going Mo Salah. 1, 2, 3, 4 players have gone with 4 people have gone with Mo Salah. And there's a vote in there for Gravenberch. Leon Osman's gone with Chris Wood, who's doing really, really good. Don Hutchinson's gone with Virgil van Dijk. Shay Given's gone with Cole Palmer. I feel like they all kind of deserve it. Like they could all go into the list. If you was to pick of today, which is always funny because it's only 11 games, but if you was to pick after 11 games, yeah, I think this is calm. I think this is really, really calm. So yeah, man. Yeah, let's I'm not too mad with any of those choices in terms of Salah has a chance, Gravenberch has a chance, Van Dijk, Chris Wood, Shay Given, kind of thing. I think yeah. These are all calm picks. These are all calm picks. All calm picks. Liverpool, obviously this season, conceded the least amount of goals this season. Really interesting seeing Nottingham Forest up there again. Like I said, they've been really, really good this season. Definitely the surprise package so far. Anyway, this season with their performances and how far high up they are in the league. Obviously, they got Arsenal, so we'll wait to see the result of that. I mean, look, Liverpool 6, so we're way out in, well, not way out in front, but we are out in front by 4. So far, at the time of this video, got Newcastle on 11, which is again pretty decent. And United on 12 and Arsenal on 12. Again, it's not mad. We've only conceded 6 more than us, so yeah, it's not mad. It's not crazy numbers kind of thing. Everyone's relatively close, but obviously we're under 10, which is really, really good. So listen, long may it continue, man. Hey, that record of 15 and that, we say what, 9 more goals, and then yeah, can we see us concede 9 more goals? Yeah, I can definitely see us conceding 9 more goals. Obviously, this is the fixture list. Next 6 fixtures of the top 3. I say top 3 because technically it would be Chelsea at the time of this video. But obviously the big 3, shall we say, Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. So obviously we've got Southampton, City, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Tottenham. Calm games. Man City have got Tottenham, Liverpool, Forest, Palace, United, Villa. Arsenal got Forest, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace. I think the hardest of all of them, to me, is City. Nah. I think it's City's actually. Yeah, I think it's City. They've got Tottenham, then Liverpool, then Forest, then Palace, then United, then Villa away. Yeah, I think that's the hardest one. Arsenal got Forest, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace. Yeah, I think it will go City, then you could say us, to be fair, because got back-to-back away games against Newcastle. Yeah, maybe City, us, and then Arsenal afterwards, to be fair. And listen, Arsenal fans been crying about getting hard fixtures and that. So listen, man, they'd be extremely happy to see the fact that they've got easier fixtures, But you need to go out and win those games, my friends. You need to go out and win those games because Arsenal fans keep talking about the fixture list, which makes no sense to me because it's, as I said the other day, it makes more sense if you win those games that you guys would deem to be easy. But you drew to Brighton, you've lost to Bournemouth. So it's not like you're winning the easier games to even really have this conversation. If you're winning the easier games and potentially drawing slash winning the other games or even losing the other games, it would make more sense. But you're not. So I'm like, I don't really know where you're trying to go with all of this. But listen, man, it is what it is. Before we wrap up, let me give you what my predicted or my lineup would be. Obviously, I've put some players in already. So we've got the centre backs, Gravenberch and Salah, with the goalkeeper of Keller. Right back, obviously, I'll go with Connor Bradley for this game. Obviously, with what's his name, Trent Alexander-Arnold not really being available. Yeah, I'll go with him. Potentially might change that in midweek against Real Madrid, but for now, I'll go with Connor Bradley. Left back, I would actually go with Simicas. I would go with Simicas for now. I think he might use Robbo in the game against Real Madrid. I don't know if he's going to use it. I might be wrong and he might switch it around, by the way. But yeah, I think he's going to do that instead. And obviously, he spoke a little bit about the South Americans and stuff like that. So obviously, you guys can see my formations a little bit different because I believe that with the South Americans, so first and foremost, we'll put this here. We'll go with Sobo. Now, I know you guys have seen it as our double pivot. Liverpool don't really play, like, it's not, it's weird. It's like it is and it isn't a double pivot, if that makes sense. Like, and I hate double pivot because double pivot for me almost signifies you're trying to play with two players who are very, very deep. I don't feel like Liverpool really do that. I don't really feel like it's usually always one and then it rotates. Someone comes in next to Gravenberch. And I think McAllister even alluded to this. Like sometimes it might be him in the 6. Sometimes he's next to Gravenberch. Sometimes Gravenberch has moved up to, into the 8 position. And then someone else has got like it rotates so much. I don't always really see it as like a double pivot, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? When Trent is there, sometimes he might pop in there at times, kind of, I don't know, it's weird. But anyways, I've gone with like the 2 in there. So the 2 central midfielders I've gone with is Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Attacking midfielders. So this is what I've gone with. Is we'll go with Curtis Jones in here. Out wide. See, this is where it gets a bit tricky because they ain't got enough players. See, Chiesa, this is why we need you, my boy. Okay, out wide, I'll go with Gakpo. And I think you can go with a Diaz in here. So Diaz, so it is you've almost got this kind of no striker thing. I think we did it in what game was it? Was it a Champions League game? I can't remember, man. My brain is just gone frazzled. But yeah, you know what the game I'm talking about, where he went with no strikers, and I think Diaz was did he come off the bench that game? I can't even remember. I just remember there was a game recently that we played with no strikers. But anyways, that's kind of what I would be doing. Diaz would be the lone striker if you wanted to then put it like that. So at times, if you then wanted to be, extra, you could say yes, it will then go, it could go into that kind of 4-2-1-3 or 4-3-3, however you want to say it in your head. I don't really care. But that's how you could kind of do it, at times. But you might start seeing this, especially when we're defending at times. And again, I'm only saying all of this because I think because he spoke about the South Americans, obviously we don't have enough players to not put at least one South American in there. And I think maybe someone like a Nunes could be dropped or just put on the bench for this kind of game. He can then swap with a Diaz. And then once he does that, then you can go back into your conventional, 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is that you kind of want to call it, like this. And then you're swapping Luis Diaz for Darwin Nunes just to get that kind of pacing behind. Potentially, again, it could change, but that's kind of the lineup that I would go with for this game. If I'm being totally honest with you, give McAllister a bit of a rest. You could put Endo in there, to be honest with you. You could actually put Endo in there. And then if you really, really wanted to do it that way, and you know what, we'll even try it. If people wanted to do it like this, let's change it. You could go like this and then have Endo in here instead. that could be another way to potentially do it. Potentially. Again, this is just me just kind of, spitballing it, but you could do that. That way now you really don't have no South Americans playing, and then we could actually just have it like that. Have those two as the kind of like the two 10s, 2 10/strikers, Mo kind of coming in to help out every now and again. Let's swap these two actually around. If you've got Mo helping out every now and again, or potentially coming infield, then you've got someone like Szoboszlai who can then come in, slot in there, play on the wing. Because I know a lot of people have been talking about Szoboszlai playing on that wing. So I think, yeah, you can kind of mess around with it, to be honest with you. And I think it's fluid enough because Jones can also do this, and you could actually have something like this where your 2 10s somewhat could just be playing on the wing at times because Gakpo and Salah have obviously come infield. Again, that could change. That could all change. Obviously, let me know what you think in the comment section. But this is just me trying to think. Obviously, him speaking about the South Americans and whatnot. I'm not saying he's not going to play them. He might actually just go ahead and play everybody. But with games coming up against City, against Real Madrid, I just think if there's an opportunity to potentially rest those South Americans because of flights and things like that, and other players too, Southampton is one of those games. I can't see why this team here, however you want to put them, cannot beat Southampton. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those. So, yeah, let me know, of course, what you think in the comment section. In terms of result, I think it will be 3-0 Liverpool. Yeah, I think 3-0, clean sheet. Scorers, Salah, that will have a hand in all 3 goals in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know, Gakpo will get a goal in there somewhere. But yeah, I think 3-0 Liverpool sounds like a calm result. You know what I mean? It won't be too crazy. They might have a few chances here and there, as teams do. But yeah, I envisage Liverpool just going out there, and getting the victory, man. But let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section, people. I will be back on the Monday. Yeah, I'll be back Monday for the match reaction. So make sure you stay tuned, stay locked in. Have a blessed weekend, and let's hope we get the 3 points. Peace.